Evening Rush. And so today on the show, I just thought that with all the news that I'm hearing, this news about, of course, our obvious inflation and another high and all that, I just thought, hey, guys, let's get to talk. Let's talk. I needed to give everyone an opportunity to just talk and just spill their mind. But with caution, right? My name is Precious and you're welcome to the Evening Rush. Now, this is where Nigeria's finest conversation happens every evening. Here we dissect topical conversations, we break it down to, as much as we can. And then most importantly, we get to have your say. And that is the aspect that I want to pay attention to this evening. I did realize that for a while now, we've not had the opportunity to have our say on the show because the bulk of our show we deal with analysis in recent time on the recent past. So I thought to, just create a room for us to get to hear ourselves. But that notwithstanding, let me run you through the hot topics that we have this evening very quickly. And then maybe you understand where I'm coming from. Welcome to the show. This show is produced by Promise. My name is Promise. My name is Precious once again. Let's take a look at the headlines quickly. All right, so Nigeria's annual inflation rate rises after 2 months consecutive fall. It did fall by small mark for the past 2 months. But again, it has started its rise again because, of course, we have increased fuel price again. So naturally, it had to rise again. Yeah. So this time around, the inflation has risen to 32.70%. Of course. This is undoubtedly a mid-fuel price hike. Now, Taiwo Yedele says that Nigerians earning above 1.5 million monthly will pay up to 25% personal income tax. Did you hear that? If you earn up to 1.5 million naira monthly, you may likely pay up to 25% monthly tax. But all the sources, the Nairametrics now has it that the proposition is for 25% tax rate on wealthy Nigerians earning up to 100 million naira monthly. So we'll dissect both conversations and we know where to tilt to. And that's why I have to open the phone lines for us to have your say, because it's very important that you are able to have your say in this conversation. Then we'll move on to others. Perhaps politics this time around, where PDP resolves crisis, factions reunited, according to Bauchi State Governor. As a matter of fact, they say they call for ceasefire in party crisis and lift suspensions. So that means Damagun stays as PDP acting National Working Committee chairman. If Damagun stays, Damagun is very loyal to Nyesom Wike. And a lot of people have been complaining that Nyesom Wike has been playing, anti-party politics because he's working for the APC government and he is in the PDP. So where exactly is he? Okay, so we'll look at that conversation too. And then we'll move on to EFCC arresting a radio host over 700 million naira Ponzi scheme. Oh, by the way, there are other stories too that has been making the round. I really do not like to pay credence to those stories. The story of Martins, that is very dark man, court asking him to pay 500 million naira for defamation of Femi Falana and his son Fowles, and also asking that he pulls down the particular defamatory post he made about them. He should pull that down. Okay, but there is a particular audio that I like to play coming from the World Bank. But let's take a quick breather. I'll be right back as we begin to dissect these, as we take a break, and when we return, we'll begin to dissect these and other issues. Stay with us. This is 90.3, Voice of the People FM. You're welcome.
We go to bed empty hunger.
To the many homes of a hustling city. The loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People, 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and pressure for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
You are listening
to the number one station,
to Voice of the People 90.3 FM.
He won't use passenger money, kill him.
Sit tire for here, put am for him neck, burn am. Yes, I no go find better work do. Na yahoo yahoo dem go dey do. Burn am. Stop!
Dat person wey you wan born, if it dey innocent, no go carry person blood put for your head. Jungle justice no good at all. Stop am.
You wey light the fire, you no get heart. Say no to jungle justice.
You uncle wey follow for the crowd dey look wey dem dey born person, you no stop dem. E dey do you like film abi? Your hand sef no clean o. You fit enter gbege. Stop the lynching. Stop jungle justice.
Under the criminal law for Lagos State, person wey start jungle justice, those wey support am and those wey just sit down look, all of them fit rot for jail. My name na Benjamin Hundeyin, Lagos State Police talk person. Stop jungle justice.
This message now from Lagos State Police Command
and VOP 90.3 FM.
The Evening Rush with Pressures, featuring sound and informed guests across various sectors to discuss matters arising on Hot Topic Party.
What was the rate of inflation, and then what was the exchange rate?
Intense conversations, critical analysis.
What is wrong with us 200 million people? We can't even give ourselves.
We sometimes disagree.
When we say our GDP is not an oil dominated,
to agree.
Hey, like what's going on here?
I saw that. On Hot Topic Pali, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. 90.3 Voice of the People FM, Lagos. Now you have a voice. Yes, Lagos, now you do have a voice. 90.3 Voice of the People FM. So let's get started. Let me take you somewhere with this conversation, and I really would love to take your thoughts and reactions on it, if possible, as soon as possible. So we begin with the story of inflation, and then we'll go to that gist about taxation, right? So let's begin with the inflation story. Nigeria's headline inflation increased to 32.7% in September 2024 from 32.15% recorded in August amid the hike in the pump price of petrol. Now, the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, disclosed this today, Tuesday, in its Consumer Price Index and Inflation Report for September 2024. Looking at the movement, the September 2024 headline inflation rate showed an increase of 0.55% compared to the August 2024 headline inflation rate. On year-on-year basis, the headline inflation rate was 5.98% on points higher compared to the rate recorded in September 2023, because at that time inflation was about 26.72%. Right now, it is 32.70%. Now, this indicated that the headline inflation rate year-on-year basis increased in September 2024 when compared to the same month in the preceding year, September 2023. Furthermore, on a month-on-month basis, the headline inflation rate in September 2024 was 2.25%, which was 0.3% higher than the rate recorded in August 2024, which was at 2.24%. Now, this means that in September 2024, the rate of increase in the average price level is higher than the rate of increase in the average price level in August 2024. This is according to the reports. So even in food inflation, it's the same thing, because in food inflation, it rose to 37.77%. 37.77%. In September, from 37.52% in August 2024. Now, this comes on the back of the increase in the price of petrol on September 3rd and the 16th consecutively by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. So you recall that the NNPCL increased fuel price to 897 naira per litre in September 2024 from 600 naira per litre, and of course we got this other recent increment again. So reports that this report shows that we're on a long. As a matter of fact, even inflation on cooking gas, because reports now has it that the price of cooking gas has hit 1,500 naira per kg of cooking gas. 1,500 naira per kg of cooking gas. So that's why I thought that this is a conversation that we should really have. Really, how long can Nigerians go through this? For how long will an average Nigeria continue to audio I'll be playing to you right away? I'm going to play it right away, and I want you to take a listen.
But implementing such a far...
Okay, so by the way, this audio is actually coming, is a voice of the Vice President of the World Bank. So just to put a perspective to this.
But implementing such a far-reaching reform is impossible without solid political commitment from the top. The price of PMS has quintupled since the subsidy cuts, imposing terrible hardship across the breadth of Nigerian society. The central bank has had to hike its policy rate by a huge 850 basis points, that's almost 9 percentage points, in the last 9 months to boost confidence in the naira and anchor inflationary expectations. But the central bank financing of fiscal deficits has finally ended, and Governor Cardoso has been putting Nigeria, or be helping to put Nigeria on the right course, on the correct course. But this is only the beginning. Nigeria will need to stay the course for at least another 10 to 15 years to transform its economy.
Did you hear that? You heard that thing that sounds like a chair, but not.
So I don't know if you're agreeing with me or if you're disagreeing with me. If it does that, it will transform its economy and it will become an engine of growth in sub-Saharan Africa, and it will help to transform sub-Saharan Africa. It's very difficult to do these things, but the rewards are massive. So this is the lesson from the last 40 years, as well as the experience of countries such as India, such as Poland, such as Korea, such as Norway.
So if you're just joining us, that's the voice of Indermit Gill. He is the Senior Vice President of the World Bank Group, as he was delivering the advice during the 30th Nigerian Economic Summit in Abuja, jointly organized by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group and the Ministry of Budget and National Planning. So the World Bank says that Nigeria must sustain its current economic reforms over the next 10 to 15 years, at least for 15 years, this reform. Now, the reform is the reform of removing all subsidies from energy. You'd recall that during the past administration of Muhammadu Buhari, it was said that the World Bank had advised him, in fact, the World Bank advised him to remove subsidies. And he said he wasn't going to do that because why would he want to remove something that would, suffer his people? And also, you also recall that immediately President Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over office, on the day of his swearing in, still at the Eagle Square, that was the day he announced the subsidy is gone. And a lot of people had blamed his policies on the World Bank, because not only did he say policy, not only did he remove the subsidy at that time, he also floated the naira. So by not hedging the naira, it gave the naira the fighting right. But because the naira did not have power to fight, of course, it started free for all fall. And here we are today with the naira, even though there has been insinuations that from time to time there is a bit of support of hedging of the naira to ensure that it doesn't slope as much as it will slope. There's been gossips and there has been insinuations on that. Now, these policies of removing fuel subsidy this policy of, even though, how do I get your mind off this now? So remember, you recall that when the fuel subsidy was removed, there were still insinuations that the subsidies were not really removed, because some people had it that Nigeria was still paying for subsidy. The government denied it several times, but there were subtle insinuations that, we're paying for shortfalls or something like that. But then again, now we just heard the recent increment, which, some experts will tell you that if the market is fully deregulated, how come the NNPC is still the one fixing prices for petroleum products? If it's a deregulated market, everybody should have its fight. In fact, the international market, the landing price of fuel in the international market defines the price of fuel we buy in Nigeria. So why do we have the NNPCL defining the price of fuel in Nigeria? That's a matter for another day. But not only are we going through that, having some people buy fuel right now, presently, between 1,005 naira or 1,005 naira per litre and 1,500 naira per litre across Nigeria. Some NNPC filling stations, if you have to buy for 889 naira, thereabout, but you have to queue very long. And that's not just the policy. This other reforms policy, as I mentioned earlier, is also the floating of the naira, which has seen the dwindling slope of the naira. And remember that because Nigeria is an import-dependent country, every single thing we buy, of course, will have to marry to the price of dollar. So if the price of the naira is sloping like that, that means people who import goods have to spend more naira to buy dollar to import. And that means they would have to charge Nigerians more, because they will build the price to the consumers. Now, apart from that, remember there is also what was called the removal of subsidy from Band A consumers of electricity. That saw the Band A users paying so high, about 225 naira thereabouts per kilowatt of electricity. If my mind serves me right, I apologize, I'm getting these figures off of the top of my head, so I may not get them correctly. So when a Band A user is paying 225 naira, per kilowatt, and and then most people who were not in Band A have been stylishly, systematically moved from the Band B or C. They're moving them now to Band A. You recall, we're still battling with less than 5,000 megawatts of electricity. We're still battling with that till date. And then we already have people who are in Band A and are supposed to have at least 20 hours of light thereabout daily and all that. But let's even leave that and go to other issues. So if the subsidy, we're paying, the Band A users are now paying, consuming electricity without subsidy. If you remember, sometime in 2022 or 2021, the former Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, had told us that, the federal government has stylishly, Google it please, and fact check me, had stylishly removed subsidy from electricity. If she had said that, remember there was this, gradual increment of electricity tariff during that administration, from periodic increments. And she said that the federal government had stylishly, systematically removed subsidy from electricity. If the then Minister of Finance said that at that time, then what are the Band A guys paying now? Is it that they're paying for the removal of subsidy from Band A, or just an increment in electricity tariff? That's a question for another day. But the World Bank is beating its chest to say, these reforms that Nigeria has taken, these economic reforms are good for the country, and that Nigeria has to stay the course of these economic reforms for another 10 to 15 years. Now, let me let you know into something. A lot of Nigerians, as we speak, cannot afford medication for different health issues, health challenges. One is hypertension, another is diabetes, and other, God forbid, cancer patients. They can barely afford medication. You would also recall that in this administration, some multinational companies have left the country. Guinness sold, handed over to another company. JSK left. Procter and Gamble, probably one of them is now producing in our neighboring countries. Perhaps because of some of these policies or some of these reforms that World Bank is lauding us for and praising us for. And a lot of people would worry, what will World Bank stand to gain if Nigerians continue to suffer? That's what some people are asking. Another school of thoughts are saying, excuse me, in the countries where most of the executives, we all know that World Bank, IMF, WTO are Western world, owned organization or established organizations. Let's just leave it like that. Now, a lot of people would say that most of the countries where this World Bank and all these countries, their leadership come from, they have one subsidy or the other that they give to their people. Why have they not encouraged their countries to remove such subsidies? Why is Nigerian government being encouraged, understanding that it's a third world country and its people will be pauperized? Why are we or our leaders being encouraged to remove every form of subsidy? And why do we continually borrow money to our leaders if you think that, what you're borrowing them for, they're not using it to do what they ought to do with it? These are questions lots of Nigerians are asking. And as I said, perhaps today is an open mic day. Let's just bear our thought on this conversation, because there must be a reason for everything. So for those who may just be joining us, let me play that audio, that sound bite again from the Vice President of the World Bank. Perhaps you will get to understand the point I am making. Amidst this inflation, the federal government is saying it's okay. Let me remind you, before I play that sound bite again, I just did tell you that inflation has hit 3.270%, 2.70% for September. And I told you that food inflation also hits 37.7%. Yeah. And just so you know, there were other reforms, economic reforms that are coming, or taxation reforms that are coming lately. It was in the news sometime within the weekend that Nigerians may need to have a tax ID before you can operate an account. Do you understand me? That is, whether you are a trader, a petty trader, you're a market man, market woman, whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're my grandmother in the village that your children just send you money, you would have to have a tax ID. By having a tax ID, that means you're mandated to pay taxes. Now, a lot of people will say, it's a wonderful thing because other countries do it. But the countries that do it, please, excuse me, let me ask a question. Are those countries responsible for ensuring job creation, ensuring they create jobs for their people? Should you not work on creating jobs for the people you have to tax? Or would you go ahead to just tax people without minding how they have to create jobs or make monies for the taxes you get from them? Now, these are questions Nigerians are asking. And I just thought, why not just bring this to the fore and let's talk about it? Because it's becoming, I don't understand. So that policy is somewhere in the way. And there's also the National Assembly taking another look at the 10% VAT increment. Because you recall that's also a thing. The first time that was raised, the federal government said, no, nothing like that is coming up. I took even talked about it and all that. But we hear that now there are gossips making the round that the National Assembly may consider the 10 increment of VAT from 7.5% to 10%. And what we should know is that once that happens, that 2.5%, it is not the industry owners that will pay for it. They would build this into the cost of goods for the consumers. The consumers will pay for it. Don't also forget that as we speak now, the cost of clearing one container, one about 8-feet container, if I'm correct, from the ports via custom is about 21 million naira. Somebody on social media posted it the other day, an importer. 21. So if it would cost an importer 21 million naira as against 358 million it would have cost them during Jonathan's administration or other administration to clear one container, who pays that bill? You. The supermarkets you go to, how many of the things in the supermarkets is made in Nigeria or are made in Nigeria? How many? Tell me which of the items. Nigeria remains an import-dependent country. And if you even look at it, for some goods that are even made in Nigeria and that we also import, some Nigerians will even tell you that the made in Nigeria, the imported, materials of fraction of those goods are even cheaper than the made in Nigeria ones. Why? Because of cost of production, cost of tax, cost of energy, because it's either you're paying band A, exorbitant fee you pay for band A, or you're using your own generating your own electricity through diesel, and you pay a lot of money either way. So it now made it look like cost of production in other countries are a bit cheaper than producing in Nigeria. And that makes some of these products, or some products, and people say that some of these products are cheaper, become cheaper if they're imported than if they're made in Nigeria. But then the clause there is that if they're imported, the duty now, 21 million naira to clear a container in Nigeria for goods that we know that we obviously cannot really make in Nigeria. That's a problem. Who pays these bills? These same Nigerians who have to deal with owning a tax ID before they have an account or run an account in Nigeria. These same Nigerians that may have to deal with an increment of 10% VAT if that happens. These same Nigerians that are dealing with the result or resultant effect of the floating of the naira. These same Nigerians that's dealing with the buying fuel now between 1,000 to 1,500 naira. These same Nigerians that's dealing with the cost of band air electricity. They are the same ones who will pay for it. And that's the problem. For the World Bank to tell us that, oh no, this is okay, and we need to stay this course of this long suffering for another 10 to 15 years. That light at the end of the tunnel that they told us about, is it still there? Abi, it has been quenched. Or maybe, as Barrister Darlington will say, maybe they've just removed the tunnel, pata pata. Okay, but let's go to another issue that's got to do with taxation. As some Nigerians thought, okay, this may be a thing, considering the fact that the federal government is now looking into imposing a 25% tax rate on individuals earning 100 million and above monthly in the country. Some sources says is 100 million annually, which is about 1.5 million monthly. So I'm yet to get the real, breakdown of that. But that's so the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, stated this at a breakout session during the Nigeria Economic Summit organized by the NA. The same summit where the World Bank, ex-VP made that statement. He also noted that those who earn over 100 million naira monthly, that is the rich, should pay a 25% tax. A lot of people are saying, okay, this may be good because we have countries like the US and other countries taxing the rich more than they tax the poor. So this is a good thing. But other people are saying that, excuse me, where this happens, you see the result of what they do with these tax monies. So you're sure that you have good roads. You're sure that you're not banded in electricity tariffs. You have electricity irrespective of where you live. You're sure that you have functional systems, functional hospitals. You're sure of your security, that you don't have to be your own security. You don't have to be your own water minister. You don't have to produce your own water. You get pipe-borne water. You're sure of all those. So at least when you pay these taxes, you're sure of exactly what the government is doing with it. But in Nigeria, a lot of people are asking, all the taxes that we're paying and this recent increment, where would the tax go to? In fact, where are they going to? That's the question. So let me play that soundbite again by the World Bank VP, and then we'll go straight to taking your thought. Phone lines are open. Lagos 0700 903 903 903. I don't want to talk too much today, so let's just go straight to opening the phone lines and getting to hear your thoughts and reactions on the conversation. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. If you're calling us on direct call, but the WhatsApp line is 0817 175 6338. 0817-175-6338. I want us to have ample time today to talk about this conversation. I realize that we've not probably had time to speak enough lately. So let's see if we can get jump on this and then be able to say our mind. Take a listen to the VP of the World Bank say that again.
Okay. But implementing such a far-reaching reform is impossible without solid political commitment from the top. The price of PMS has quintupled since the subsidy cuts, imposing terrible hardship across the breadth of Nigerian society. The central bank has had to hike its policy rate by a huge 850 basis points, that's almost 9 percentage points, in the last 9 months to boost confidence in the naira and anchor inflationary expectations. But the central bank financing of fiscal deficits has finally ended. And Governor Cardoso has been putting Nigeria, or be helping to put Nigeria on the right course, on the correct course. But this is only the beginning. Nigeria will need to stay the course for at least another 10 to 15 years to transform its economy So I don't know if you're agreeing with me or if you're disagreeing with me. If it does that, it will transform its economy and it will become an engine of growth in sub-Saharan Africa, and it will help to transform sub-Saharan Africa. It's very difficult to do these things, but the rewards are massive. So this is the lesson from the last 40 years, as well as the experience of countries such as India, such as Poland, such as Korea, such as Norway.
I bet I have a lot to still say about this issue, because again I ask, is Nigeria the only country that subsidizes consumable for its citizens? People have called us here from across the globe and mentioned how almost every country that they belong to either subsidize agriculture, subsidize food, subsidize energy, subsidize a thing or the other for its citizens. Some would say that the reason why food is cheap in most European countries is because there is a bit of subsidy in those things. So, and then one would now have to ask, what exactly is a Nigerian benefiting from the country, from the tax monies, from the oil that God has given to us? What are we benefiting? Phone lines are open. Let me not just be the only talker tonight. Call me on WhatsApp, guys. 0817-175-6338. 0817-175-6338. Direct call is 080-700 903 903 903. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello, are you there? Hello?
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from? Your name is what? Dennis. Did you say Dennis? Oh yeah, I can't hear you. If you can hear me, please do well to call back. I can't hear you. It's really important for me to take your calls. Call the WhatsApp line 0817-175-6338. 0817-175-6338. And the direct line is 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Thank you.
Yes, please. Good evening and welcome.
I'm calling from Ogun State.
What's your name, sir?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Yeah, Peter.
Peter, go ahead, please. I have someone else on hold on WhatsApp. Please be on hold. Just go ahead. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, don't deceiving us. Tell us the truth. Stop deceiving Nigerians.
Why do you think it's a deceit?
They're deceiving us. So I have to say good night.
Oh, wow. Good night to you. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello?
Yeah, precious.
Yes, you're welcome. Go ahead. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
All right, this is George, calling from Fresh Stack at the moment.
George, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Okay, a quick one here. It's very obvious, It's very obvious that because of our own problems, because I don't want to believe that IMF and its executives or whatever would come and bring policies that we all know that these policies would not work for us at the moment. You understand? It will not. They want to put people into early, mortality rate and all that. You understand? Because at the moment, the people in the country are not really, they can't contain these problems on their own. You understand? People are dying, like situations get worse every day. And not everyone can actually afford these things. And coming to think of it, these our leaders, or our politicians or whatever. I don't know why they don't even put the people first, like the welfare of the people first. You understand? Like, it's as if they don't put the welfare of the people first. Because how would you live in a country where there's no subsidy at all? No subsidy. Your own country, you're feeling like maybe you're a stranger, or maybe, I don't know if you understand, like in your own country where you're supposed. Meanwhile, when you go to other countries that is not even yours, like you feel the way they even take care of you, you wonder. They treat you like a real human being. But when you come to your own country, you're being treated like an animal. I don't know if you understand. And there's this mentality also amongst all of us, like, I don't want to all wake up and say, oh, this will stop. I think that's when this whole, razzmatazz is going on. Since just as if every day you wake up, there's one news or one thing that will, and just keep wondering, is all these things happening in this same world where you are, where you see things going on in other parts of the world?
All right.
You understand? It's really sad though. It's really sad because they're just pushing people to the wall. Honestly speaking, they're pushing.
Do you think Nigerians can really survive to wait for another 15 years for these reforms to begin to yield results?
You understand? Like the 15 years, what if the person don't die in the process?
So why can't we cut the size of the cost of governance to be able to manage for the next 15 years? For instance,
that's why I said it still voices down
to put every politician on minimum wage. For instance,
our politicians, look at the laws and the things they actually enact to favor them most of the times. Honestly, it's to favor most of the times. I've not even seen all this whole policy, economic this, economic that. It's as if maybe it's structured for a particular set of people.
All right, thank you.
You understand?
Thank you.
Because there are some who benefits from this our commonwealth, while there are others who just languish in poverty, and we're all somebody, this country, once you are okay like this, you don't care about the next person.
Thank you. Let me tell I have someone on hold. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hello, good evening and welcome. Oh dear, have I lost you? Good evening, are you there? All right. Okay, phone lines are still open. 0700 903 903 903 0817 175 6338. That's the WhatsApp line. 0817 175 6338. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello,
welcome.
How are you, peaceful lady? How you doing?
Dayo. I hope so. No quarrel today. Just go straight to the point.
See, we used to say that the foundation that brought these people into power is so crazy that everything that it does never be credible. Now, look at what this IMF man has disclosed to you now. He's showing that these people, they don't know what they are doing. They are just after Nigerians' money, just to exploit people, taxing people unnecessarily. Imagine them increasing your tax from, I think it was 3% to 10%. Because people were now shouting, they reduced it to 7.5%. And now they are trying to bring it back to 10% back. So it's not that they are after development. They are just there to milk Nigerians, just to make money out of Nigerians. And how can you be taxing Nigerians unnecessarily? How can you be taxing Nigerians unnecessarily? What is Nigerian people benefiting from government?
Did you hear what the World Bank VP says? He says that Nigeria needs to remain like this for the country to get better, to become the true giants of Africa.
No. Nigerians cannot remain like this. We have all the old mineral resources to make Nigeria to develop. What are they doing with it? Are we moving forward or moving 100 years backward with this government? You can see how Nigerians are suffering unnecessarily because of poor leadership. This thing, unnecessarily wasting of money, buying yachts, buying all this Cadillac and every other thing.
Right,
and Nigerians are suffering unnecessarily because of bad leadership. And we are saying it that these people, look at it now. Okay, look at how they came into power. Is it credible? Is it right? Look at it. When your INEC and judiciary, they're saying that certificate doesn't matter.
But he made a reference to the fact that other countries like Malaysia, Korea, Poland, Norway, that they use same template, India, and
no. See, let's not compare all these other countries. Let's look at our own situation. Look at our own this thing. You cannot look at all those other ones. They have brains that are managing country. Look at your own. Do you have brains managing
your country? We have brains in Nigeria.
No. See, let's just be
about managing. I can't tell, but we have brains.
Wait. Precious. Let's look at it. The people that are around your president, do you think they have? Let's be factual. Do you think they have?
So Dayo, you've spoken for about 3 minutes to 4 minutes. So let's let that's coming.
Can you compare? Wait, can you compare those that were around Obasanjo and this government?
Okay, I appreciate.
Let's make that comparison.
All right.
Now, okay, if you look at,
I have someone on the line, Dayo. You've spoken for 4 minutes. No, now this is how we call it. No, I can't give you 1 minute. I have someone on the line already.
Let me give my point. You can see that the difference is clear.
Hello.
In Obasanjo's time, they cleared our debt.
All right, thank you. Hello, good evening. Thank you. Hello, good evening, and welcome.
Now.
What's your name, sir?
Give me enough time to people were talking for about 4 or 5 minutes.
Just go ahead, please. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mike.
What is your name, sir? And where are you calling from?
I'm MI from Ojo.
MI, you're welcome. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Time bound for calling now.
Gago, you are wasting your own time complaining now. Can you just go ahead, please, sir?
Yeah. So my own take is it's unfortunate that one man from World Bank now come between watching Nigeria, and we say we are intelligent. The man mentioned countries at this reform that work, India, Poland. He didn't mention his own country. Are those countries African countries? They want to impoverish countries. They don't want Africa to develop, to grow. So that they will continue, we want Africa to continue to depend on them. Our leaders, they are not seeing it that way. You understand me? This democracy, I don't think is favoring Africa. We should practice our own democracy. It's unfortunate that one individual will come and be brainwashing people, professors, and be brainwashing them. Which country that does not have subsidy? We don't have subsidy in anything, no education, no fuel, nothing whatsoever. A developing country. And what man?
Oh dear, apologies. Hello, good evening. I didn't cut your call. It's okay. Hello, good evening, and welcome.
Hello, Precious.
Yes, please.
Good evening.
What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good evening and welcome.
Yeah, this is Remy.
Remy, go ahead. Let's hear you, Remy. Go ahead.
You asked the question. You said, what are we really benefiting?
Yes, please.
The answer is nothing.
So why shouldn't we have at least one thing subsidized anymore for Nigerians? What's the reason for the oil?
Everything rises and falls on leadership.
What's the reason for the natural resources, not just the oil, tons of other natural resources that we have? What's the reason for it? What are we benefiting for it? What are we benefiting for the environmental degradation those natural resources are causing us? Then for this high taxes and all that, what are Nigerians benefiting from it at the end of the day? It's important that we know. And then why can't we also have those who, because we complain that, this is how they do it in the US. But in US, we don't have a senator go about with plenty of police escorts and an official car. They don't have that. So why don't we also copy the amount, their style of governance in terms of the cost? Why do we just copy the things that favor us?
And Tinubu and his supporters are in best position to answer this question.
No, but this is not just Tinubu's, because this particular thing about cost of governance transcends Tinubu's administration. It's beyond his administration.
But government is continuum.
Yes.
Who is there as we speak presently? I can't call who was there yesterday. I only call who is there now. Because who was there has left. So who is there now? So it's a continuity. As I speak, the man who represented World Bank, please, what country is the man from? I really want to know the country. Is he telling me nothing is being subsidized in his country? For him to bring such idea up. And those who were cheering, are they agreeing with what he said, or they are saying no? I heard people cheering or saying yes or no. I don't know what they were really saying, but they are agreeing with what he said.
It was like a dissenting voice.
Okay.
It was like a dissenting voice.
Okay. So he said we should put this into practice for the next 10 years.
Yes, please.
That is evil.
No, not 10. 10 to 15 years.
That is evil of the highest order. Presently, Nigerians
so we should continue in this format for another 10 to 15 years.
He should have mentioned his own country to tell us his country adopted that style of policy too, for them to have gotten to where they are. I think there is an effort to destroy this country. I don't know why. And last point. The new narrative now is they're trying to tell us we should be pro-CNG. Tell me one European country that has gas in abundance that is pro-CNG. all you hear is electric vehicle and hybrid and the likes, because they have electricity. But here, the majority is CNG. Yeah, the next thing which will be shouting CNG. When we have other things in abundance, there is an effort to destroy this country. We all get to see how it all plans out. Good evening.
Thank you so much. So you did ask about the country where he's from. I think he's an Indian, and Damit Gill is an Indian. Yeah, so I think so. All right, I hope that answers your question. Hello, good evening and welcome. Oh dear, I think I lost you. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, welcome.
Hello, good evening.
You're welcome.
Thank you. This is John calling from Ipaja.
John, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you. Please, I want to say something.
Go ahead, please.
What the bank representative just
World Bank
is a script given to him.
By who?
It's given to him by Minister of Finance and Federal Government, Nigeria Federal Government.
Oh wow, really? That's your thoughts?
Yes. That is why they are clapping for him. So that is my own thought on it. It's not that it's... All right.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello, are you there? Hello. Yes, welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Raf, calling from Night Town.
Raf, you're welcome. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
I beg you, what is happening for country? There is World Bank the talk, That person just talk. Now, see.
I'm waiting.
All these things. They're going to do the right till I make it out.
I know they hear what you talk.
I said, now come to where they don't right till I make it out.
Oh, na script. Now say you talk.
And they tell you the truth. That's not how to get Nigerians. When they see that things are too bad, they'll find something to just talk, and they know things are not real. So we can tell I'm not going to resist anything from the Nigerian government. Believe it or not, believe me. My students attend the private school today, private hospital. No, the street will still because we come and do the street. That's all I use. But it's too expensive. When one thing was going to the government, somebody will tell you that you need to see, one of the we go to the next 1 week. Weekend we go to Sweden, start on Friday. You understand? Start on Friday. There's no way that government to go beyond. I don't say anything better. They don't care about the masses. So how would something get better in 50 years when they're done?
I can't quite hear you clearly, but it's okay. I think you've made your point. Thank you. I can get what you're saying clearly. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you understand. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Precious.
Good evening. Welcome. Apologies for keeping you on hold for a while. Welcome.
No problem. I'm happy that I have the privilege to talk today.
Now you have the floor, so go ahead. Let's hear from you.
Okay. The first thing is that the World Bank man telling us all these things. Number one, is he aware that places like Poland and Norway, he's telling us, is almost having zero corruption? Why has he not also talked about corruption? Are you doing reform without fighting corruption?
Perhaps that's our own internal battle to fight.
The major issue is not taxing people. The major issue is to know where our money is going to. If you tax people and the people in government share the whole money, how have we developed? How are we going to develop? How are we going to move forward? The Malaysia is talking about, it took Malaysia and British police go and read the history to fight corruption and stamp it out of Malaysia, and that's why they can develop. No country can develop with the level of corruption we have in this land. And the World Bank man, when he's talking about reform that does not include government officials lowering their expense, lowering the cost of governance, how would the reform work? How will he make progress? That man is just telling us what the leaders want to hear. It is not practicable. It is not at least the element.
Oh dear, apologies, I lost you. All right, I begin to take your messages now very quickly. Let me start with WhatsApp. Where do I start now? Too many messages already. Okay, so let's go to WhatsApp now. Miriam says, good evening, Miriam. Recently, Anti-Precious, nothing. Okay. All right, apologies. Good evening. Adeyemi Kamuru from Satellite Town says, as a nation, we cannot continue to subsidize petrol, electricity, and even our local currency with over 90% of our total revenue. It will obviously be hard on the people who have enjoyed virtually free fuel and corrupted, pegged foreign exchange for a long while. But it's the only way, the hard way, to rescue the country economically. The hardship will soon be over. Let the citizens persevere. It's a temporary hard time. I can assure you of that. Adeyemo, I love the way you've spoken. So great. But please tell me one thing the politicians are subsidizing. In all of these things that we're saying, it is in this administration that we heard that a senator goes home with 21 million naira monthly salary. So if you're coming here to support and laud what is happening, also compare the differences in wages of politicians in the US and the wages of the common man in the US, or their normal minimum wage in the US. Compare the difference. Is it as high as 70,000 to 21 million naira? Please tell me. So when you're coming to support, nobody's even saying it's not working. But can we all share in this pain and know that we're all feeling the pain together? Because it will be obviously harder for someone whose salary is 70,000 naira to buy fuel for 1,000 to 1,500 naira. And it would be just a walk in the park and a piece of cake for someone whose salary is 21 million naira monthly to buy fuel for same price. So what are we talking about here? So sometimes it's good that when we support, let's not support blindly and sheepishly. And let's not, insult the sensibility of others as though you're just the one with the point. Let's understand that there are people who are dying now because they cannot afford common drugs. Something as common as amlodipine, a BP drug, they cannot afford it anymore. So that's what we're talking about. If World Bank is lauding this policy, how about those people who are poor? You already know Nigeria is a third world country, and you're supporting us to have these policies that they cannot subsidize one thing. Even in the country as big as US are subsidizing something for them. So why can't you subsidize something for your citizens? Give me a break. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Good evening,
Sir?
Precious.
Sir?
How is everybody?
Well, everybody is here like this. Welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Originality.
Okay, where are you calling
It's
from?
been a while.
Oh wow, it's been a while.
Yeah, I love what the topic today.
Thank you.
Just that I tried to call, but I think network.
So that's why I thought we should have more time to talk today. Go ahead, because the phone line can be crazy, but I hope that because we have more time to talk today, more people can jump in on the call. So go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to start subsidizing. If you're here in America, there's a proposition now in California because of the high rate of house rent,
housing,
okay.
So
that it will be controlled. So
and that control, who's paying for the excesses?
The excess because it's too much.
So who's going to pay for the excesses to define the control or determine the control?
Preposition, right? So what I'm talking about is that in Nigeria we get better when the citizen will be able to have a say to what happened. Not really a few people in the Senate, they will come back and because what they're going to project is what this, because Nigeria does the separation of power is not autonomy in Nigeria, so the Senate president and most of the Senates, does the beat of the president, because president control what happens in the Senate. So until when, like here, we vote every damn thing. If any changes, citizen will vote. So if I know that when things are not going better, everybody will vote to get it better. But because of the Senate, they only have few people to decide, and whatever they say that it stays. So just like an Indian man saying, let's add that Indian man does Indian electricity, epileptic like Nigeria, because Nigeria is not about the NEPA. Every damn thing Nigeria does depends on fuel, right? Companies cannot function without fuel.
So if they had the lights, if they had the NEPA, just like you said, will they be buying fuel?
They won't. So the problem Nigeria have is too much for external to come and decide or tell us what to do. it is only when we have governance that understand what people need, how to solve problems, so they will internally face it. But when we start listen to the IMF or listen to World Bank, so they are doing the bit of, because foreigners don't want you to get better. Foreigners don't want your economy to get better, because if you get better, people won't be moving to abroad to work for them. If the economy gets better, the import because Nigeria is just like a junk job. We don't produce nothing. Everything is import. You know, we barely export anything. Even if we want to export, the stamp duty, police duty, court duty, before you will finish every other thing, you found out that even what we had must have rotten. Let me start a case for you. I knew of a lady that wanted to start importing agricultural products from Nigeria to America. They didn't let this
She also exports from Nigeria to the US.
From Nigeria to America. Yeah. So they delayed this woman that even what he had in the container got spoiled before he came to America. You brought to America. The woman lost millions.
Why? Because both the products and the money she's spent on in importation just goes down.
They're all gone. And you know one funny thing? American government banned Nigeria of importing fish because of that incident. So Nigerians now cannot export fish from Nigeria to America. Only that act. What we need to do, if we can have one center where every both the custom, police, everything damn thing you need will be there. The offices will be in that building, so that importers will come there, do whatever they want to do. But this one will take, because of the corruption. I love what the last speaker, you know, before they will run around. You must have reached up to 2 months, 3 months.
Thank you.
If you have, we start decaying.
Thank you.
So get things better.
Thank you.
We government but when the right person gets there, everything starts.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Hello. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Madam Precious.
You're welcome, sir. Go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mr. John from Jeburu.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Mr. John.
May God bless the wound that gives birth to you.
Amen. Why are you blessing me?
So much. I need to bless you. I've been listening to you more than 1 year now.
Oh, thank you.
I don't have opportunity to call. I will be calling. I just want to appreciate you for your doing it. And anywhere I'm going, I always go with my every night, Valentino and other. And go for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, you're welcome. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
My name is Taiwo from Costa.
Taiwo, you're welcome. Go ahead, let's hear you. Shoot.
Yeah, concerning the World Bank and Nigeria. Well, the only thing I have to say for the Nigerian politicians is that I don't have much to say. There's this party in my Yoruba side that they normally say that if the politician cook for the whole country, we will finish it. You understand? But if the whole country cook for the politician, they can't finish it.
You had.
Yes, they will never finish it. Let them go on. We are counting this course. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Right, going back to my messages now. I have quite a lot of them here to read. So let's go back to them. Uko Sisi from Surulere says, good evening, Lady P. The advice from international organization to Nigeria is regrettable. They are helping to milk Nigeria dry with the kleptomanic route. Oh, wow. They borrow money to them and they loot it and send back the money to them by saving in their banks and wasteful travels. This sovereign called reform for 15 years. Is that what you're saying? These people are not, they don't have, God have good night. Thank you. I appreciate you, Uko Sisi. Chooks from Ikorodu says, I listened to the comment made by the Vice President of World Bank. The President Tinubu should sustain these economic policies for between 10 to 15 years so we can see the number of years it would take for these policies to start yielding fruits. And a leader is accepting this? Hey. So anyone telling you anything else is deceitful. That's what you said. And then this here says, the content of the book that is why Africans must remain poor is the real gist. He said there is need for Nigeria to pull out of World Bank. Nigeria is not benefiting anything. You know how much you are owing. Hey, say there is no ire in this matter. Do you know how much you're owing World Bank? Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, good evening. Precious.
Sir?
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Ike from London.
Oh, wow. Ike, welcome. Go ahead. Quickly, thank you.
Yeah, all right, one question, please. How many WhatsApp numbers do you have? Why just says it has to do with your station. How many WhatsApp numbers do you guys have?
I know about
apart
this.
From this,
0817-175-6338.
Because I've been trying to reach you for the past 1 month.
Sorry. See, I get more than 1,000 calls in a day, and same in WhatsApp messages. It's crazy. As I talk to you, my other lines are buzzing. Sorry, it can be.
Frey, don't have my well done.
No vex. Thank you. I received the hammer. Go ahead.
All right. What I'm talking about is it World Bank president or whatever? It's telling Nigeria how to run
World
economy.
Bank VP. Go ahead.
Yeah, VP. It's telling Nigeria how to run economy, which is wrong because this place we live in UK. Do you know the subsidy these countries giving in everything they are producing here?
I really like to hear. Tell us.
Okay, then if you look at about baby food, okay, like milk, all these things. Government
Some people
is
are buying
part of the money.
Buying a can of baby food now for as much as 27,000 naira. Just go ahead.
You see. So all those things, government is paying part of it to help parents to feed their children. Like there is a milk I was buying for my daughter at Mail or whatever. It was the original price of it, if you want to buy it before, was about 20 something pounds, but now they are selling it 13 pounds something for since last year.
Wow. So they've subsidized
So
it.
they have to support, but Nigeria, they'll tell them remove everything, and the man have the audacity to tell you people it will last for like 15 to 10 years.
10 to 15
okay
years.
For you guys to benefit from the reform. So is it when everybody in Nigeria is dead? So I think government supposed to be helping the masses, not for their own interests. I think what Nigeria is supposed to be talking about now is INEC reform. But nobody's saying about it because how this problem is INEC. I'm telling you this, I've said this before. If INEC is not reformed, forget about 2027, they will continue and they are not going to do anything and nothing will happen. If INEC is not reformed, you will go to court, tire, and nothing will happen. That's what Nigeria should put emphasis now. Let's start doing proper election. When you enter there, you know you are there to serve for the people.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate
you.
All right. So let me go back to my messages. Because I want to be sure to take as many messages as I can today. All right. Jeffrey, I think I've taken your message already. Ojo says, good evening, Precious. This is hypocrisy in the OBS, so they won't let me. All right, let me take that call. I'll get back to that message. Hello, good evening.
Precious.
Sir?
This is Okangwelina.
Okangwelina, you're welcome. Go ahead.
I'll be your neighbor here from Afulupo. You should be taking my call first.
I won't use something that you they call me now. When I didn't see your number.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
My sister, you know what that man said is correct. Yes.
You mean
we should endure this thing we should endure the hardship for 10-15 years so that we will see the results. It doesn't matter whether we die but the politicians, the ones that are ruling us now and their families, between now in the first 8 years that they will be in power, you will see much improvement in their life. So what is the man talking about? the son of the president went and dashed somebody 500 million in Borno State the other day. Where did he bring the money from? The mother dashed somebody, the same people 1 billion. Precious, are you with me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
And by the time they stay for 8 years, they can even go to beer parlor and drink with 20 billion. So is that not an improvement? Is that not an improvement? When they're enjoying it, means even if we are dead, we can stand in our grave and be looking at them and be clapping for them. You heard what that man was saying. He said Cardoso is doing well. Doing well in which place? Look at the exchange rate. They told him he's doing well and they were clapping. What is Cardoso doing well? 1,600, I mean 1,700 now, and they tell you are doing well. People were clapping. When he now said it's 10 to 15 years that people will suffer, they started saying, "Woo!" You understand? Because these people are all in the same meeting. Even that man that was talking, and Cardoso and his Oga, all of them are in the same meeting. They were in the same meeting before he came to come and start telling us that nonsense there.
All right, just okay. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'll
it's so bad.
Be clean. Just
when we have died, all of us, when we have all died, then they will come and enjoy for 15 years or 20 years. Bye bye.
All right, I appreciate you. So going back to that message from Ernest Ramojo, he says this is hypocrisy in the highest level. These politicians are taking Nigerians as fools, people that don't know what they want. See, Precious, a World Bank chief was paid to make that speech. That's your thought? We don't need all these cock and bull stories. Look at the countries he mentioned. Tell me which of these countries he mentioned is rich in is oil-rich country. Why didn't he talk about the cost of governance in Nigeria? Why can't he tell the political elites who were there with him in Nigeria to cut the cost of governance? He's there applauding them on their ill and pain policies that they will take us nowhere. World Bank has seen Nigeria as a good customer, and a customer that hangs their hopes and aspirations on them for that matter. World Bank wants Nigerians to be taxed, and our politicians taking our tax money back to their country. Let them continue trying in error. That's what you said. Oh, wow. Emmanuel from Ikeja says, so the World Bank is saying we would wait for a decade and a half to start enjoying the benefits of the policies that are put in place. Are they okay? Goods and commodities are going highly, monthly or weekly. Even the US is subsidizing 2 to 3 things for their citizens. We are tired, Precious. Gas is 1,500 naira per kg. I heard that today. Had to shake my cylinder and bend it to one side this morning. Oh my goodness, Emmanuel, I remember that tactics. Apologies, Emmanuel. Good evening, Precious. Please don't get yourself wound up by those people who are not facing the truth of the situation. What should Nigeria expect from the World Bank when our rulers always run to them for loans? That's what you said. And then regards, Mazi Ukukano says, please, where is Mr. Peter Osifo that calls from Abaranjo Ikotun? Abi, the situation don't touch him. Peter Osifo calls still. And then Babiji says, your voice is one of the few remaining things that consoles and comforts me, Precious. Oh, thank you. Precious, you asked a lot of questions about what Nigerians are getting from Nigeria or Nigerian government for all these policies being imposed on us, especially in this government and administration. Precious, total and capital nothing. That's what you said. Please tell us, please help us tell IMF, World Bank and the rest of them, they should please tell Tinubu to reverse all his policies that's biting and hurting Nigerians very badly, or leave us alone, please. We can't breathe. I can't imagine. Okosisi Odumodu says, I will direct all the blames to our leaders. I think they have agreed to punish and depopulate Nigerians with these things. Why the World Bank vice president didn't mention his own country? And it's clear that the Nigerian leaders have connived with World Bank and IMF to reduce Nigerian population with hunger and hardship. Which country doesn't have subsidy to her people or give subsidy to her people? That's the question he asked. Removing subsidy, I am not against that, but it should be gradual process. But if the leaders insist, they should know that Nigerians will rise up and You said a lot, but unfortunately, I can't take that part of the message. Hello, Voice of the Nation. This is Victor from Texas, watching Precious. Can I speak to Precious? And you please do that. Go ahead and speak. You're here. Please call in. I'm here. You can speak to me. Go ahead. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello.
Hi, Precious. Good evening. How are you doing?
Jova, you're welcome. Go ahead. I want to be able to take as many calls and reactions as possible today so that I can cover a lot of minds and thoughts and opinions.
You are doing very well, Precious. You are doing very well as always. And I'm not surprised that Dr. Deji is not in the studio today. So, and that's why you're running solo. And we are here with you, Precious.
Go ahead.
Precious.
Yes, please.
Let me ask you a question. I want to be promised.
Don't ask me the one I would not answer.
I'm asking you rhetorical questions.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I'm saying that on this job that you're doing, Precious, nobody needs to come and tell you the rules of engagement on this job you're doing.
I'm going to read that
because you know you sabi your onion. Permit me to use that local language to express myself.
Okay.
Because you know your job very well. Nobody will come and be educating you or re-educating you on your job. That's why when some people call this radio station and say what is out of order, you put them right with it.
Yes, please.
If you do not know your job, you will see that some people will come and be educating you on this job. That is exactly the case with this country called Nigeria. Because those in authority don't...
Have I lost you? Joval? Hello, Joval? Joval, are you there? All right.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Please be quick.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please be quick. Go ahead.
Okay, village people, leave me alone. I said because those in authority don't know what they are doing. That is why somebody will come all the way from India and come and be telling us that this policy is the best for us, that we should enjoy it in the next 10 years. Those in authority know what they are doing, Precious. Nobody knows that. They
All right, I think you've made your point, Joval. Apologies, the line is breaking. But let me go to YouTube now, where I have quite a lot of reactions to. Mike Madubuiko says, Auntie Precious, good evening to you. All right, nice to see you again. Always looking forward to your program. Thank you, Mike. These people won't finish us last. Else, what is all this, Auntie Precious? Wahala deal, my dear brother. The economy where gyms, tight gyms. Jeff says tax collectors. Okay, he said in Aso Rock. Clem says they talk like they have people like 15 years. Like how? They have people. They talk like they have people life for 15 years. You say like how? That's what Clem says. And Ewosa says I totally disagree with him. Dominic says I no blame them. The Nigerian leaders I blame. And then Jessica says, Jessica, what did you say now? Jessica says, Precious, today you bought what now? Okay, Jessica, I have to finish that your message. You say, Jessica, I said today I bought ugu leaves in the market for 10 cedis here in Ghana, and ugu wasn't enough for a pot of vegetable soup. I do use ugu 10 cedis to cook as of last 3 months ago. Wow, how much is 10 cedis in Naira now? Please let me know. And one mommy says, Precious, the worst side of it is that all those taxes go into oblivion. That's actually the question. Where does it go to? Where does it go to? Okay. Peter Amadi says, Precious, wonders never cease. You are now talking like Barrister Darlington. Maybe Barrister Darlington should give way to you to bring out the fighting spirit in you. Are you serious? You really don't know me then. And it's okay if a lot of you just misunderstand me like that. You don't know me. Onochie Maduabuchi says, good evening, Precious. You are looking good in this night. I discovered this station last year. Since then, I have no other station except VOP. God bless VOP. And you, the presenter, VOP is the best station. Thank you so much. Ajao Surajuddin says, God, we save us in this. No, he said, you save us in this country. There is no direction. And Chit Power says, they will make a hole in the wall and continue, right? If they push them to the whole wall, right? Hello, good evening and welcome. Please turn up the volume of your radio set. Have you turned it off?
Welcome.
No, you're listening to something.
This is Mary.
Go ahead.
Mayor from First Start.
Mayor, you're welcome. Go ahead. Go ahead very quickly. Let's hear you.
The vice president of World Bank that was telling us reforms, is there any reform at all? Because this thing is just negative policies of this administration to punish people. Because when you say we are talking about reforms, when you don't, in fact, I don't even see this administration knowing the direction they are moving to. There's nothing. They're just doing what they call tumbo, trial and error. That's a trial and error. Because, yes, that's an error. Because all these things, they try this one now. People say, there is no policy on ground, though. So Nigerians, they better think a way of surviving to take back our country. There's no policy. The man there is just like somebody said he was just saying a script, little for him. I believe so. It's just those in government will just tell him, maybe the Cardosos and those people will just tell him this, give him a script. He will tell just to defend their. When you go and borrow, people will share. Look at, we are talking about $6.4 billion. There is no road in Lagos, I hope you know. No road, no single road, except maybe around Alausa, that governor's government house and house of assembly. There is no particular road. Go to Lake Ekpe Expressway, go to Badagry Expressway, go to First anywhere. And they're telling us reform.
First Stack Road is, I don't want to say disaster. I don't even understand what's happening to the local government and the House of Assembly member representing that constituency. What is going on? That road in First Stack is something. Almost all the connecting roads.
They are collecting revenue on with red eye, telling people. Even there was one that I don't know where I was. There's people who bought houses several years ago. They're telling them to come for race certification or verification. That everybody should pay 20,000 naira. Look at people. Most people there are retirees. Where are they going to get 20,000 naira? 20,000 naira with number of houses. So this just revenue. Are you going to, when people die, are you going to collect revenue from dead bodies? So I don't really believe it's just a script. It is just that Nigerians have entered one chance. The government has no direction.
I appreciate you.
That is just the thing.
That's your thought. I appreciate you. You're right.
Let us keep hope alive.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Onyeka Chimwachukwu from Majawa State says, Precious, your president will accept the offer from the IMF. We don't know how we and APC will work this out. Onyeka just sent in that. And I have lots of messages here. Where is this coming from? It says, okay. All right. This here says, hi, VOP. Thank you. I appreciate you. Good evening, Precious. Precious, it's time for Nigerians to stand and take their country back. How can we continue like this for 10 to 15 years? Say they have done more than evil to Nigerian people. They are dying of hunger. How did they want us to now stay for another? Maybe say, God, you say, how do they want us to eat? Maybe God help us. If visas is free, trust me, nobody will be left in Nigeria. Okay, it's another country you want to go and disturb with your wahala, abi? Okay, and this says, okay, this is an old message of pointing me to a message you sent one yesterday. Okay, say natural gas is more abundant in Nigeria, therefore CNG is said to be more sufficient and affordable than PMS. Hence, the government wants consumers to switch source to energy. If there isn't an ulterior, the same natural gas, you can also convert to energy, to power. So why are we not looking at that too? Okay. He said to more sufficient. He said, hence, the government wants consumers. So if there isn't an ulterior motive behind driving people towards the use of CNG, why is there an abnormal and incessant hike in LPG price? That is gas price. Since we have natural gas in abundance, is LPG not supposed to be almost free and and in the price in order to mitigate or reduce climate change, which is less damaging to the climate? Chisco from Ijeko asked that question. Chisco, I don't have answers to your question, unfortunately. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, you're welcome. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
It's Chinoye from Waisambo.
Chinoye, welcome. Go ahead.
What I want to talk now is that maybe all these people now, they want program Nigeria so that APC will rule us for more 16 years to come. Because this man is saying that Nigeria will suffer for Nigeria we be in this mess for 15 years, 10 to 15 years. That means if Tinubu you don't finish, Shetima will enter to complete the remaining 15 years to the suffer Nigeria is suffering. May God help us for this country, man.
Sorry.
That's what I want to say.
Sorry. All right. I appreciate you. Hello. Good evening. Hello. Good evening. Are you there?
Yeah. Hello. My name is Boy.
You're welcome. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Hello.
Yes, please. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. There are some perceptions. So we are trying to have a kind of conversation. When we use the word reform, that was confusion. When you use the word reform, it means something has been bad.
You say when I use the word words, I like to hear you, but your line is breaking intermittently. When I use the word words.
When you use the word reform, it means something has been bad. When you reform, what effect?
I can't hear you. When I use the word we forgive.
Hello. Can you?
When I use what word?
Hello. Can you hear me now?
I am trying. Where your line is breaking. You said when I use what word exactly?
Or I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, when you use the word reform, it means the situation has been bad. When you now reform, there will be an instant, positive effect where it becomes a reflection within the social class.
Oh, the word reform.
Yes.
Go ahead.
When you talk about tax identity, the winning bank, I'm telling you to Nigerian banks will collapse. For instance, if somebody is remitting money to your account, which means the money does not belong to you, then you now pay 25% taxation. Then the money which does not belong to you, like for instance, I may have a capital of 40 million in the bank, but my profit there is just 3 million. And you're now asking me to pay 25%. Another one is this. There has been an argument that NPCL, a private company, right now, how could a private company be now determinant a product that belongs to Nigeria?
But I've been asking these questions to myself now. I asked the questions. I thought you were going to give me answers because I did ask those questions.
Then now the federal government will now mandate Dangote to be buying crude oil in Naira.
And they're not telling us the price that Dangote is buying in Naira. Neither are they telling us the price Dangote is selling to them too.
Now, if there are not price increase in PDMS, the government will keep it aside. Then the NPCL will not come up to defend federal government that federal government is not involved in issue of the price on this price increment that's from NPCL.
Thank you.
Who is that L in that NPC?
It's limited now. It is limited. It's everybody. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hello, good evening. I think it has
good evening.
Hi, good evening. Welcome. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Victor from Houston, Texas.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been watching your program for so long.
Thank you.
I just want to say you're doing a very good job.
Thank you.
And you continue a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's all you want to say to me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Oops. Whoa. Okay. So going back to my messages on YouTube now, Ajao. There. Okay. Ajao Surujidin says God will save us in this country. Chilled Power says they will make a hole in the wall if you push them to the wall. Hobby Tech says good evening, Precious. And Zion Shoyemi says, Precious, please, how much is Nigeria owing? Let me pay the money now. Chingitim answered him and said it is 126 trillion naira. Please pay it for us now. Let this matter stop, I beg. We really need your help. This is the time we need you. We need you badly. So going to more messages. Good evening, Precious. Since I was born, I can't see or point to one thing I have gained as a citizen of Nigeria. I'm thinking of my own. Caroline from Ejibo says, the depression. This is one, their stage act, clapping for who didn't pass exams. Do they know what we are facing? It's not their fault. It's quite unfortunate. You see people dying of hunger and starvation, and they are talking of 10 to 15 years. God, do that one. God, do which one? Okay. All right. I get back to that. 0700 903 903 903. So the point is that if there was even one subsidy, okay, so how about the subsidy President promised us on selected food items and pharmaceutical products for 6 months only, I'll be 5 months? How about that one? Since that promise was made in July till now, we don't know anybody who's importing those brown rice, those grains, and those pharmaceutical products at those custom duty free rates. We don't know. So how do we find some sort of succor? You just keep pushing us. Well, let me go back to my phone line. Say good evening and welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, my VOP.
Yes, please, welcome.
My family, my wonderful VOP family.
Yeah, Madam Quality.
I'm so happy. Yes,
you're
yes,
welcome.
Madam Quality.
Madam
I'm
Quality,
so
how far
happy
now?
today.
Madam Quality,
now.
you promised me a bakeleke rice. So how much are you bag?
Oh, don't, Auntie Precious.
Ma?
I'm here to just make this thing and just an open offer to anybody that want to eat rice in December.
Okay.
So I want to make it an open. You can start paying small. Now I want to bring in rice, and that rice now you will get it at 95,000 naira.
What make of rice? Is it Nigerian rice?
Yes, Nigerian rice, very good quality rice.
Okay.
I will show you. I just got a contact of rice that because of this family, it's not what I'm selling, but because of this family, I'm just saying it on air. I would have, if I have your number, I would have chatted you and give you this offer for only VOP family. I just want to do it because last year I remember that on MC Shoes program, there are some good Samaritan that helped us out, make people to eat. So we want to continue with that line. Because this year own is even triple on what rice was last year. So yes, so anybody that need this, you can start. Even if our people, our good people of Nigeria that are listening, that want to say, okay, I want to donate to, 1 bucket of rice. We just want to make it available now. I just want to secure it down and keep it.
So you're selling for 95 from now till when will you be selling for 95,000 per bag?
It depends on when I see the cash and make the payment, so that I will not be running helter-skelter.
But you said they can pay small, Nabi.
Yes, they can pay small,
so
because I have secured some.
Okay.
I have secured some, so I don't want to.
So when can they finish payment? Because some people may want to know.
Depending on December, as long as you make a deposit, I know that you are interested in it.
Okay.
So that I will not.
So as long as they make a deposit, you can keep rice for them from now till December.
Yes.
Okay.
So somebody somebody may say, "Oh, yeah, keep 1 bag for me." Somebody will say, "Okay, I need this community." Or yeah, I will pay for 5 bags for people, so that you can now do it 5 kg as you did it last year.
Oh, you remember seeing that's what I did last year,
Yes, that is how we do, so that other people, that will donate, so that we cannot share one bag. Now we can do it small, so that many people can have access, even if it's one paint. Joe, I preach on behalf of my VOP family that are listening to us. Our members, please, you can help us now. We need your help. We really need your help. Thank you so much.
But how much is the current market price of rice now? From the
market price, a good rice, you can be hearing of Big Bull and Garagwa rice. Garagwa rice, very long.
They do advertisement, but just talk and quick. How much?
Okay. We have it 110,000, 105,000. Yes.
Wow. So is it the same kind of rice that you're giving them for 95,000?
Yes. Oh, wow. Yeah. But because of what the way I got it by this, I wanted to store in sale by December. I will not sell it at my own price, but because of this family, I have to make it an open.
Okay.
The way I can be able to help.
All right.
I can lend my own help through that side.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Madam Quality. I appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And hello, good evening, and welcome. Hello. Are you there? Good evening and welcome. Hello, is somebody there? All right. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, please. Welcome. Welcome, sir. Sir.
Finally, I don't suffer this night.
Chai. Who suffer you like that?
Precious Mekao.
Dearly. Iboyin wrong.
When Comrade Godfrey is on the line.
Oh, you're welcome.
From Surulere.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank you for all you do, and especially for this night. Like somebody observed earlier, I think this is the truth. So those people that always complain about your stance and when you are interviewing your guest.
Don't worry yourself.
So now, okay. So I have a question bothering me that I want. Yes, and it's on this so-called reform. Like somebody earlier said, what is reform here? Is it economic? Because when this administration make noise about reform, I wonder what they mean by reform. Because I remember economic reform of Obasanjo that centered. I said it the other day. That centered on you will have had the banking reform of that administration. You will have had the telecommunication reform. That is about that transform our telecommunications sector. You would have had the pension reform. You would have had the port reform. So now, what is the reform of this government that they are talking about? Is because as at that time, even the people who were in CBN, we are making their monetary policies. They were making their fiscal policies. Nobody took those things as reform. But now, do you know that floating of naira and then removing subsidy is what these people are calling reform? For me, and these people are even taking it in their own terms. And now look at where they have even taken us to. They have stretched it even to the World Bank, to warrant this. I don't want to use a foul language. So, what is the reform there that the man is telling us that? Okay, the 15 years time that he's talking about, by going by what we are suffering now, who is even sure that we will even see do a 2020, even 2027 that people are talking about for the election? If things continue to go the way it is going now, I have my doubts. And so we should not flow. We should not fall for them when they throw all these their terms that they are doing reform. There's no reform. I remember there were economic reforms, there were political reforms. The political reforms are those things like one of us just set up the constitution, whatever conference, which Jonathan also did. Okay. Those are political reforms that you could see visibly. But this one, there is nothing. See, okay, now the man is the vice president of World Bank is telling us that these reforms will transform to something better in 15 years. Okay, now do we start counting even the 8 years of Buhari as part of this 15 years or what? I don't know.
But President Buhari did not remove. Former President Buhari did not remove subsidy. All right, I appreciate you. Thank you. Even though there was a time he tried, attempted here.
Answer me now. Removal of subsidy. Is it what they call reform? Is it the reform?
Thank you.
I am still at a loss.
Thank you.
Anyway, let me leave it to them. Let them do whatever they want to do. But all I know is that all of us, I will live, me personally, I will live to see the end of all of this nonsense.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Good night.
Maker. Thank you. Good night.
Ịdị njikere irite nnukwu ego ngwachere Lapo Express Service Promo agba nke atọ erukwala.
Time to win big for the Lapo Express Service Promo. Don't come on! You dey ready to win big? Lapo Express Savings Promo Season 3 don land Digidigba. Stand the chance to win 1.5 million naira Simplify, make your sharply save as chicken as 20,000 naira every month from October 1 to December 31, 2024. Save or withdraw only 5 times a month with your Lapo debit card for another 3 months. Maintain as low as 60,000 naira period till December 31st, 2024. It never finish. Oh, 50 lucky people fit to win 50,000 naira and 500 Zeroba account. Go then get pose collect free Lapo debit card. Oya halele waka enter any Lapo microfinance bank and begin to save today. For motorists, Sama call enter 0813-984-0230 or visit any Lapo microfinance bank today. Lapo Express Savings Promo. Win big. Terms and conditions they shall.
Right, Lagos, you are welcome back. It is 90.3 Voice of the People FM. I'm still taking your thoughts and reactions on the conversation that we've raised this evening, and we've been looking at quite an area of conversations. I wanted to talk about this whole PDP issue and all that, but I thought, you know what? Let's forget about all these party shenanigans and just go straight to how the ordinary person will survive this period, especially following the advice of the World Bank VP, where he posits or says that we may have to endure this hunger a little bit more, at least for the next 10 to 15 years. How do we cope till then? And that's the focus of our conversation this evening. I have quite a few messages. Okay, so Ifedayo from Egbeda says, please don't forget that it's what the Nigerian government wants him to say that he's delivering. The politicians are the ones that cause the inflation in the country, because they will go to the World Bank to borrow money and extend the repayment schedule for more than 20 years. And if you cannot pay at the real time, otherwise they will have to pay with their mineral resources like crude oil. That's exciting. That's exciting what we're facing right now. Exciting. Are you kidding me? Precious, good evening. Inside Ajawa Estate, Onyekachi Wachuku. He said, no, okay. Precious, no good inside Ajawa Estate. I mean, no road, you mean? Onyekachi Wachuku from Ajawa Estate sent in that message. All right. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello,
Precious.
Jova, why are you calling me back? You had called initially.
I have not finished my thoughts, and the network ended my thoughts in less than 1 minute.
Oh, yeah, in less than 1
minute. I was
minute.
saying that when you don't know what your job, anybody can come and be telling you what they want to tell you. That's the situation of this country. Those in government don't know what they are doing. That's why somebody will come all the way from India and come and be telling us about reform, that we should be like this in the next 10 years. But let them go and implement this type of reform in India and see if India will remain the same. But there will be no katakata and fights everywhere now. And they came all the way from India to come and be telling us that we should bear this pain, that this thing is precious, and they are clapping for him. Just like somebody said, it's like a script written down that the guy came to read. Please, these people should be careful with what they are doing with us in this nation. Good evening.
Thank you, Jova. Jova, all right. I appreciate you. All right. And then this message here says what? Then it says, Precious, okay. This one says, good evening, Precious. Nigeria users issues are really eating me up, that I have no strength to talk about or lament. It's very pathetic. Deep breath. You're taking a deep breath. Roy Tech from Surulere sent in that. And then this says, hope you are good. My name is Angel Perenge from Alagbado. 15 years reform for Nigeria, and may the world end before then, so that we no go suffer to suffer. God forbid. All right, good evening, Precious. You see that House of Rep member of Amo Odofie, I don't even know what he is there for. The federal house, the FHA is busy extorting residents in the name of verification. Ex-governor of Lagos who bought his way. Oh dear. All right. I appreciate you. I'm not going to take that, right? Auntie Precious, the rice woman did not drop number. Oh, I'm looking for a number. I'll look for a number and drop for you guys. Okay. Remind me. Chika from Surulere says, I am interested in the rice. So, Madam Quality, you come and pay me for advertisement too. All right. All right. Oh, all right. Don't worry. I'll get to see that later. And this says Vice President Shetima Tinubu got only 3 votes. Okay, no. We've dealt with that issue. How are you doing? Ikoku from Jakonde. First, my name is Precious. I hope you understand, right? Okay, this is Precious. That's my name. I appreciate you, Ikoku. All right. Moving on to more messages now. Okay. Dayo. Hey, Dayo, your message is so lengthy. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, Precious.
Sir?
Just good morning. Now, can you compare the economic team of Obasanjo and Jonathan and this government? Now, in Obasanjo's time, they cleared our debts, right? Now, in Jonathan's time, you can see steady reforms to steady the economy. That's why Nigeria was number 1 in Africa. But where are we now today in Nigeria? Are we not downwards? So these people, you can see that.
But this federal government keeps defending the economic policies, and they're saying that that's what's best for Nigeria at the meantime.
These people don't have anything upstairs. Look.
No. You use the right words. You started.
Wait. Okay. Let me use the right words. Now. Okay, I take it back. Now, look at Cardoso when he was managing the bank that he was managing. Didn't it collapse? He collapsed now. So how can you put somebody like that to head a Nigeria CBN? And that's why we are in this mess. So you can see all of them all together. Say best of the same feather will flock together. That's why we are in this mess. Look at our Senate, rubber staff Senate. Everything is just very unfortunate. Thank you.
That's I thought. I appreciate you. Good night. Even though they will argue with you that they are not, right? Okay. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, please. Thank you. Welcome. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Your what?
In Nigeria, the economy is very bad. Everything is bad. I don't know, right? Everything is disgusting.
Sorry.
I just pray for God to help us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And that help will come. Thank you. All right. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from? Oh dear, have I lost you? Hello? Hello? Hello, are you there? Hello? Can you hear us? Are you there? All right. You can try to call back if you can hear us. Unfortunately, you couldn't hear you anymore. So please try to call back if you can hear us. Hello, good evening. Please help me turn off totally the volume of your radio, please.
Hello?
Yes, please turn off the volume of your radio. No. Hello?
Hello?
Turn off the volume of your listening device, sir. Oh dear. All right. Thank you, everyone who's called. Appreciate you. Appreciate your thoughts and reactions. Appreciate all your contributions so far, and thank you for the contributions you've made on the show so far. This is perhaps an appeal to the federal government. These policies that the IMF is lauding and applauding you to continue to implement. Sometimes it is good that we use our tongue to counter at it, because I think that it's best that you find out from these same World Bank leaders, the countries where they come from, that they live, do they subsidize a thing or two for their citizens? And then again, to our federal government and to our House of Representatives, to our Senate, if we are copying policies from other governments, please ensure to copy policies in total. So if we're saying that we're copying our policies from, for instance, America, also copy everything that they do. Do we have the kind of corruption? Do they have the kind of corruption that we have here? Their politicians, do they live the kind of extravagant life that we live here? Someone like Yahaya Bello, if he was in the US, he would have been caught by now. Even people that are in sitting position also face the law. I think the mayor of New York is having it hard too. How many sitting politicians go down if they're indicted in corruption? So if we're copying policies, let's also copy policies that would help these your economic policies to thrive. And that is one, cutting down drastically the cost of governance. And two, curbing corruption, fighting it, including to the household of everybody in politics, even that of the president. Make sure that there is no way anybody who is attached to you personally benefits from any contract or anything. Let's start from there. There is a lot to talk about, but I'd rather end it here and say that let's hope that Nigerians can live to survive these policies. You better feel the pulse of the people and perhaps reconsider and trade carefully or gently with Nigerians, because Nigerians are truly going through a lot. I love you guys. I thank you. Okay, so to those who may want Madam Quality's number, kindly reach out to me on email, via email, preciousenyi.tv@gmail.com. I'll get her number and pass across to you at preciousenyi.tv@gmail.com. That is precious ENYITV@gmail.com. And that's same with my YouTube page, by the way. So you can go to my YouTube platform at Precious Enyi TV on YouTube. Barrister Darlington and I dropped a thought yesterday there, and Dr. DJ and I also dropped something there this morning. So you can go watch that. I love you guys. I'll see you again tomorrow, God willing. Have yourself an amazing evening. Good night. Please protect your mental health. You know that, right? Good night.